हेलो सबको नमस्ते। आईएफएफ न्यूज का नया लाइव शो में आपका स्वागत है। आई होप आज का सुबह का जो लाइव शो हुआ था ध्रुव सूद के साथ वो आप लोग को अच्छा लगा। एंड आई थिंक बहुत सारे रिएक्शंस मिले हम लोग को सोशल मीडिया में। तो आज फॉर द पोस्ट मैच एनालिसिस ऑफ द फर्स्ट टू गेम ऑलरेडी आईएसएल आज स्टार्ट हो चुका है और पोस्ट मैच एनालिसिस के लिए आई थिंक ही नीड्स नो इंट्रोडक्शन। जयदीप दा जॉइंस अस giving us his valuable insights regarding both the games, and I think Joyita will be there with our show in time to time basis in the during the ISL games. So Joyita, welcome to the show, and it's
Thank
always
you,
been an
thank
honor
you,
to host and getting insights from you in all to day activities of Indian football. Again, a big welcome.
thank you so much, thank you.
Jadidda, coming straight to the point, then I'll not take much of time because we have two more games to discuss. So, पहला गेम का अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं मोहन बागान अगेंस्ट केरला ब्लास्टर्स, 2 गोल से आज मोहन बागान जीते आज ये वाला मैच। हालांकि केरला ब्लास्टर्स had only 2 foreigners in offering in compared to the foreigners which were available for Mohun Bagan in the pitch and quite settled foreigners. How what you made of the first game? आपको क्या लगा पहला मैच का? What was your feeling? You were expecting this result or you were surprised by something?
Expecting the results, of course. Mohun Bagan are the champions, and they should start with a win. It's quite obvious. A champion team is always expected to win. They are not expected. If it is a if they have lost point, it would have been a bit of an upset. Even a draw would have been an upset. And given the trend of the match, I think Mohun Bagan are deserving winners. That nobody will disagree with that. Uh, at one point of time, they will. We thought that they will win by a slender margin. We didn't have. It didn't happen because they scored a goal in the final moments. Almost, I think, deep into the extra time, into the
Yes,
add-on time,
96.
they scored the second goal. So nobody would have been surprised if they had won by a bigger margin because they were holding the reign of the game in their hands. They were attacking more. They had more possession. They had everything that was on their side. So it is about so the result is no surprise, I think, and I think it's quite well that they have the way they have won the match. And Kerala Blasters, of course, were expected to do a perhaps a slightly better, but they looked disjointed and didn't make any effort to stretch the Mohun Bagan defense. That is one thing. But overall, Sayan, this two matches which were played today, it is not about who won and who lost actually, and what are the results of the match. It's a new beginning. It's a very important day for Indian football, not only for the 2025-26 season, but also for Indian football, because this season it happened at one point of time we lost hopes and we thought football will never begin and football will. So at least the game has begun, and it has been also been proved. I would like to say that it has also been proved that football is nobody's what you say individual domain. It is nobody's monopoly. The game in India is not dependent on a particular group of people or a particular company or particular whatever it is. So as we discussed before in the previous shows also, we have discussed before, and we have always agreed on one point, all of us, that Indian football will survive. There are still questions around about whether it will be a 14 team or whether there will be another team could be brought in at the last moment, whether they could be brought in the fixture. All these things are still there. I'm not saying that a kind of uncertainty is still surrounding the entire scene. But the biggest thing is that the game has begun and the league has begun. Even if it has begun, albeit very late, it has begun, no doubt about it. But Indian football has this season has actually started, I think that's the biggest takeaway from the both the matches today.
Correct.
Whether Mohun Bagan, for former champions, Mohun Bagan won, last year's champion, defending champions, Mohun Bagan won, or Super Cup winners, FC Goa were held by the newcomers, Inter Kashi FC. Uh, that is at this moment, to me, that is not important. More important that game has started, and it has been proved that even though there is some lack of cooperation from some quarters, even though there is a complete, what you say, complete a completely disorganized All India Football Federation, but nobody can really keep Indian football under check, and it has started.
नहीं नहीं 100% जरीब दा आज हम लोग जब शो भी कर रहे थे इन बिटवीन द गेम्स वी वर डिस्कसिंग विद मेनी ऑफ द fans who were watching, the many of my friends who were watching from abroad, they said that fan code has done a very decent job regarding the games. Quality of the game was shown with in a very less span of time. I think we must take and I think appreciate the way fan code presented the first game. I think in such a less time they were able to put up a very good show, and
Certainly, it was. At least, if you ask me, I'm pretty satisfied with the way the game was shown. Even with the commentary or everything, even if there was little bit of here and there some deficiencies which at least I cannot point out. If somebody even points it out, I won't take it very seriously, because matches were played and matches were shown. The commentary was done decently, and I am happy. I am sitting back happy at the end of the two games.
Jadip, coming back to the game part now. First game, as we discussed, Mohun Bagan won 2-0. Any standout players for you? Who caught your eyes for Mohun Bagan, especially any foreigner or a domestic player? Anybody who caught your eye?
Of course, Jamie McLaren. He has been given the Player of the Match award. I don't know who got the Player of the Match award in the second match. I didn't get it. By that time, I think I switched off the.
We started the show.
And we started the show also almost immediately. I was preparing for it. But in the first game, it is definitely Jamie McLaren who did a very fine job. His goal was good, a good goal. Though I think the Kerala defense could have done a little better. I think, but it's okay. He was right there, like I think he said in the press conference, he was like a fox in the box or something like that. He said, which is absolutely correct. And he's a prolific scorer. He always scores. And I think it's a very good thing for Mohun Bagan, for his team, that he has returned to his scoring abilities, or immediately hit his scoring abilities. When did he score? I think on 15th or 20th minute. I don't remember which minute of that. When he scored
he scored after the first break. 33rd minute was the first goal.
33rd minute, he scored the goal. So in the first half itself, he found his mark. So I think it's a huge moral boosting or a confidence boosting for Mohun Bagan also, that their main scorer has started scoring the goal. He is definitely the best player of the team. And overall, if you ask me,
बट दादा एक चीज मैं एक चीज आज पूछूंगा, केरला का कुछ प्लान बी भी तो नहीं था दादा. केरला सिर्फ डिफेंड ही करता गया, करते आई थिंक वो जो कोरो बोल के प्लेयर आया था उनका सेकंड हाफ में आफ्टर 68th मिनट, उसके बाद थोड़ा राइट चैनल में थोड़ा काम हुआ, उससे हेल्प तो दे वर डिफेंडिंग ओनली.
Yeah, you are true. You are right about it. But at the same time, we have to understand one thing. We have to give a lot of leeway after the first match. This is the first match of the season. And when are you beginning the season? You are supposed to begin the season in September. You are beginning the season in mid-February. And and still we are asking people to, if you ask everybody to be perfect, then they can turn around and ask the organizers, are you perfect? Who is perfect here? They can always ask. So better not get into that. So this is their first match. And I'm sure, and also away match. It was an away match for them in the very first match. Mohun Bagan had the advantage of playing at home. So only thing, this is a short league. So once you go down, it's sometimes difficult to come back. But again, this is the first match, and I think as the season goes, as they go back to their home ground, and they train more and have a play a few matches, 2-3 matches, and I think they will be back on their trail. So this Kerala Blasters shouldn't be judged by what they played in the first match, and same can be said about Mohun Bagan also. I think Mohun Bagan was was not at all spectacular today. I think I'm making an understatement. Mohun Bagan looked ordinary at times. There is no doubt about it. But again, you have to give them time to warm themselves up. They are playing under the first
second half में मोहन बगान को थोड़ा ऑफ कलर लगा भी था because they allowed Kerala Blasters come in. अगर Kerala Blasters के पास उतना अच्छा finishing होता, they were not able to put up one shot on target पूरा मैच में Kerala Blasters. So I think
that's true. That's what true. So it was overall as a match, it was a rather lackluster match. It is not a it is not a kind of match where spectators will go back happy after watching the quality of the match. But again, we have to come back to one point again, that this is their first match in a hugely delayed season. So let them give that that leeway, that let them settle, and we can only hope that in the next couple of weeks they will improve.
जतिन, और एक चीज आई वांट टू आस्क यू, वो भी काफी इम्पोर्टेंट है. आई थिंक ये पार्ट भी हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. अभिषेक तेकचंद सिंह को आपको कैसा लगा? हाउ ही द लेफ्ट बैक ऑफ मोहन बगान, he got some good attention, and people really praised out after the game. I think a section of Mohun Bagan supporters were praising him after the game, the way he played. What do you make of that player, Abhishek Tekchand?
I felt that he was very committed, and he wanted to prove himself. He was determined to prove himself. He also knew in the back of his mind that that it is time to impress. He had to impress. Yeah, I'm very sure he thought about it, and did it very well. Again, but only thing is that he was not greatly tested. No, Mohun Bagan defense itself was not greatly tested, isn't it? I think, considering the fact that it is his first match in the ISL for Mohun Bagan, I think he did a very decent job. He did quite a decent job, and he did. And he will, and he has been given a first team appearance. That is again a big thing. So I think he will grow in confidence.
करेक्ट. जो स्ट्रीम को देख रहे हैं सबको बोलूंगा, यदि तो पहले मैच का रिव्यू अभी कर रहे थे, तो सबको बोलूंगा जो स्ट्रीम देख रहे, डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. लाइक करिएगा वीडियो को and share the video as much as possible. We have got some questions. Before we go to that questions, second match को लेके क्या आपका आकलन है जदीद? Because second match Inter Kashi was winning at 80th till 80th minute, then suddenly goalkeeper gets a red card and match suddenly changes. Team becomes 10-man team, and they score off a penalty. Dejan Rajit scores a goal. 1-1 at 82nd minute. उसके बाद 8 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मिला 90 to 98 मिनट तक, फिर भी somehow Inter Kashi was able to manage a draw. What do you make of the first game? Inter Kashi का पहला गेम था ISL में, and what do you make of the whole game at the moment?
See, I was very curious about watching the second match for various reasons. One is Goa. They are the Super Cup champions. The last tournament played in India have been won by them only, isn't it? That is Super Cup. So I was curious to see that how Manolo's boys play. And secondly, Inter Kashi being a new team in the ISL, and we all know that how much drama it went when they went through to become the I League champions. How many months of despair and wait and court cases and disciplinary committee and appeal committee, finally to CAS, to international court of arbitration, so sports arbitration, everything, and then finally they have been accommodated in the ISL. So I was quite curious to see that how they perform. I think they have done a more than a decent job actually. With little more luck, they could have walked away with all 3 points. But as you said, their goalkeeper was a momentary lapse on it, because if you look at it, the goalkeeper, that Spanish goalkeeper, he was doing a very good job under the bar. He looked cool. He looked calm. He was very solid in his collections, in his outing, everything. But as we just said, there was a momentary discussion on their part, and it was like a nail in the coffin, and they had to considered the penalty. But FC Goa are lucky to get 1 point home, because of FC Goa was disappointing with so many what do you call it, with so many
good Indian contingent, very good
big
Indian
names, well-known names in their lineups, and experienced players in their lineups. I think they didn't find a striker somehow or the other.
Correct.
See, given their strength, I think they should have won. On paper, we should always say that they will win against Kashi. If you compare the strength of the two teams on paper,
at home
and at home. On paper, they were the stronger side, but never for a moment they looked like a stronger side.
Yes,
even after Interkashi was reduced to 10 men, which in the and that happened in the last 10, 12, 15 minutes. They played with 10 men, then also we didn't see FC Goa doing anything extra, isn't it?
Correct.
So. As I said, with little more luck, Interkashi would have gone home with all 3 points. But it was not their day in the end. Perhaps the goalkeeper did such a mistake, which
caused them,
I don't know,
valuable
which cost them really bad. Valuable, and he had and he considered the penalty and also the red card.
Correct. Achha, there is one question which has come up. We'll go to the match part, because we need to discuss this also. Abhishek Guchait has this question. Dada, I can put this question to you. Do you have any insight who will be the next commercial partners for the next year, 20 years tender? Any idea? Because now it's very unclear.
See, this is like Abhishek. His name is Abhishek. Whatever, Mr. Abhishek, this is like putting the cart before the horse, because the tender has not been even floated, it has not been finalized. So and the terms and conditions and the style of tender, everything has to be finalized, and clubs has to look at it, the AFF has to look at it, the tender committee has to look at it, the legal part has to be seen. So it is, I don't think anybody can say it. It depends on what kind of tender, and unless the tender is floated, it is very difficult to say that who will take the tender. There could be some parties who may be interested, whom we don't even know, and there could be some parties we know who would not be interested. So unless the tender is floated, and now this season has somehow started, so better concentrate on this season and let this finish. Then we can think about the next 20 years, because we never thought this season itself will finish. So forget about the next 20 years. All I can say.
Yes. Correctly, Dada. Dada, first two games is over. One team winning it, one team losing it, and two teams drawing it. तो सबके भागले में दो एक पॉइंट है, एक को 3 मिला, दो को एक मिला, और एक टीम को 0 पॉइंट मिला. तो पहला दिन तो खत्म हो गया. We have finished the first day of ISL. Second day tomorrow.
And tomorrow. Pretty good matches they are. Even the penalty was added. The match was looked boring at one point of time. There was not even much crowd ground, and that penalty added some drama into it, some excitement. Havas created some. He threw his hands up and said a lot of things. But I think Havas also knew back in his mind that it was a penalty. He could do nothing. Even the referee could not do nothing. Even the goalkeeper knew it was a penalty, because he never even attempted to take the ball. Because he was overconfident and thought that he will get the ball, and finally he brought that player down. So it was no way it could have been avoided. But again, as you said, it added some drama into it, which is some excitement, and it was an enjoyable day. Shayad. Enjoyable day, an exciting day, and a very satisfying day. Don't you think it's a very satisfying day?
I think it was satisfying. For me, it was very satisfying. For me,
for every Indian fan, it's a satisfying day.
I would say, right. Correct.
Isn't it?
Yes. We waited for this day. We waited for long for this day. We did n number of shows for this day.
Yeah, and finally the ball has started rolling after so much of trouble around, and I hope that it will keep rolling.
Correct. Then Ratul has a question for you. I think this question, your tweet was also yesterday viral. I think he has taken reference of that. He asks you, Jadita, what is your opinion about the entire fiasco of trying of Churchill brothers backdoor entry in ISL? What's your take on this? Because you made this story first in the Twitter. Then people started off making other stories came out, but you were the first to make it. So your take on this matter? He's asking you. Ratul De.
See, what is his name?
Ratul De. His name is Ratul.
Ratul De. See, Mr. De, the thing is that let's not use some controversial, some objectionable word like backdoor entry. Yeah, you are also right to an extent that when the Churchill brothers and Interkashi were locked in a legal battle with the AFF. AFF declared Churchill brothers champions at one point of time. Then Interkashi went to CAS, and there they won it. And then AFF made a 2-member committee to look into the CAS judgment, which was again very farcical, because when a court has given a judgment, a committee cannot look into its judgment. It is beyond their brief, actually. A legal judgment has come from the world's highest sporting court. So, but still AFF made a committee, and they also declared Interkashi the champions and said the CAS report was perfect. And after that, AFF called an executive committee meeting, and they also, I don't know why they called an executive committee meeting, but they to look into Churchill's claim, and they also rejected it. And now I believe some political pressure has come on the clubs, and a couple of clubs have written to AFF that, I don't want to name the clubs. Who are the clubs who have written to the AFF? I think they are under political pressure. They have been given some pressure by some from top political sources, and they have written letters to the AFF saying that Churchill, they have no objection if Churchill is taken into the ISL. And this letter has come around 24 hours before this tournament was to begin. That is yesterday the letters come. So I really don't understand that how a team can be taken when your fixture is ready, your everything ground is ready, teams are ready, teams have reached. How can you suddenly add one team? You have a 91 match fixture, then you suddenly if you add Churchill brothers, then another 14 Churchill brothers match. I don't know how many matches will increase, at least 14. So how it is possible, I don't know. But AFF itself has to take the blame for it, because firstly AFF I think that was 7th of June or July executive committee meeting, when everything was under legal what do you call it? And that time Mr. Kallanchu, the AFF president, in the executive committee meeting, he says, in my opinion, Churchill are the champions, or something like that is said. And when Cass said that, please hold on to it, don't give the I-League trophy to anyone, then AFF defied the Cass order, went to Goa, presented the trophy to Churchill. And after that, if Churchill claims that they are the champions, then they should be given the opportunity. Who should take the blame for it? You tell me.
Correct. Correct.
It
Correct.
is AFF who tried to please anyone. It is what I call very cheap politics of Mr. Kalyan Chobe, which has brought the issue to this level.
Correctly.
You can always say that Churchill is making a backdoor entry, trying to make a backdoor entry. We can always say, but they have been encouraged by the AFF themselves, isn't it?
Correct.
AFF has, because of AFF's inaction, because of their inefficiency, and because of their what you call it, because of their cheap politics, the Interkashi versus Churchill matters have been dragged for months. Anwar Ali case still being dragged.
I think they don't want to take any call in any matter. I think the problem with them is that they don't want to take any call in any matter. They want to leave till the end.
No, they want to please everyone in certain quarters. It is now very clear. I have no qualms in saying that they were actually playing politics with it to please. They are actually, it is vote politics they are doing. They are not doing it for football. Anwar Ali case, it has been dragged for so long. To relegate Delhi FC, which finished with 8 or 9 points on the last on the table, to last April, the league I-League was finished, and this February, yesterday or day before yesterday, they were relegated by the disciplinary committee. Why it has to be dragged for 8 months? Why in Anwar Ali case, after waiting for nearly 2 years, I think 1.5 years or so, Mohun Bagan have finally moved to CAS? Why? Why it has to be like that?
Correct. You should do it.
Can anyone, the AFF answer? AFF will always say, no, it was up to the disciplinary committee and the appeal committee. We know what happened in those committees. In one particular committee, how much politics was played. It's now an open secret. It's an open secret now. Who played the politics and how the politics was played. But AFF can always say that the committees were independent, judicial committees were independent committee, though people have a lot of doubts about that. I'm not getting into that. They can always say that it's in judicial committees or independent committees. But what AFF could have done, would have set a deadline for these committees. That kindly, you look into it, whatever you feel right, kindly finish up the hearings and give us the result within this period. Because we have to go ahead with other things also. Who have been promoted, who have been demoted. All these things have to be defined well before the season starts. But AFF never did it.
Correct.
So if Churchill brothers are trying to, it's true. When you say on the face of it, it is true. The Churchill brothers are still trying. You can always say it's a backdoor policy. But there is no. What do I say? There is such lack of discipline in everything AFF does that everybody is encouraged to do whatever they feel like. That's all.
Correct. I think we have discussed this part. Radha, coming to the last part, we have discussed nearly. I think we are already over time. Tomorrow we have got 2 games again lined up. Jamshedpur playing against Mohun Sporting, the first game, and the second game BFC playing against SC Delhi, again a Delhi team playing for after a long time. Your expectation from both the games? Any prediction for both the games?
First is Jamshedpur versus Mohun Sporting.
Yes.
Jamshedpur is the strongest side, we all know. And Mohun Sporting were facing a lot of problems. But again, game is played on the pitch, not on paper. So you never know what will happen. And second is Delhi FC is hosting.
Delhi FC playing. No, they are playing away in Bengaluru against BFC.
BFC are always one of the favorites in the tournament. They are one of the high profile team of this competition. And Delhi again. I'll be quite curious to see what Delhi does, because
In
this is
store for
one
them.
team which we have lost count how many times it has changed venues and changed names. So it appears in different name at different times. Sometimes from Pune it becomes to Hyderabad. From Hyderabad it becomes Delhi. I don't know what next in store for them. But again, we will now they are
But
a
at
Delhi
least,
side.
Dara, for us, people staying in Delhi, it's a big thing. At least we have a club to cheer for after many years. After Delhi Dynamos went, we didn't have anybody to cheer for. At least now we have got somebody.
Yeah, Delhi Dynamos became Odisha, and now I have been told even Odisha is in trouble. It could become something
Yes,
else
yes.
maybe next year. So I don't know which way to put my loyalty, which way,
But
because
we expect you, Dara. I think we will be. I will be joining one of the screenings of SC Delhi, and I expect you to join. I will take you one day for this screening because that will create a vibe once they play here. Because that
let us
will,
see what
let's
happens.
see, we have
Yeah.
somebody to cheer for in the city.
What we can actually say that we can expect good football from all the teams, and anywhere it is played in Bangalore, or the first game is in Jamshedpur. Of course, the fans will be happy because after a long time they have seen their teams back, the players back, the game back. I'm sure they will be very happy. More than the quality of the game, they will be ready to pardon the quality, excuse the quality. I am very sure they will be very happy that somebody has, at least some football has started. So the first round is a, I think, at least I will be watching with keen interest.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Let's see. Let's say tomorrow again after the match we'll be back. And sorry, I think today Nosat Bhai was not able to join because he is traveling today. So he will be back on Monday when Northeast plays East Bengal. Jadipda was with us. Thank you, Jadipda, for your time. And I think thanks to all the viewers who watch this show. Do comment in our section and do comment on Twitter also. What do you feel of the first two games of ISL? We will be back tomorrow night again. Back. Bye from our side. Good night. Good night.